Philadelphia police releasing new surveillance video tonight showing two gunmen who they believe were responsible for that deadly mass shooting in Grace Ferry overnight. It has since gone viral on social media. We do want to warn you, it is alarming to watch. You can hear a string of gunfire there. Police now trying to identify the shooters in that video. Philadelphia police say 3 people were killed, just one of the victims, and 9 more injured after the shots rang out around 1 o'clock this morning on the 1500 block of South Edding Street. Police say 3 young men were killed, 19-year-old Jason Reese, 23-year-old Zahir Wiley, and 24-year-old Azir Harris, who was confined to a wheelchair since he was 17 years old and the victim of a drive-by shooting back then. Police believe at least one of the guns used had a switch, illegally converting it into a fully automatic weapon.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Hey, what's going on, family? This time from Nopickspodcast.
What up, family? Joe, Nopickspodcast.
Hey guys, Angie here.
All right, so my question, I'll ask Ange first. I'm gonna just keep it simple.
Man.
How do you view the state of Black culture today?
Black culture, or
Mm-hmm.
just as a whole?
Yeah, just in general. You see it as good in a good place and a bad place, and
I mean, I guess it
a
depends
neutral
on
place.
the lens. There's parts of Black culture that are great and thriving. There's parts of Black culture right today that are terrible, horrible. If we're going down the lane of the
so is it like
video that
50-50, you think? Like there's 50% of us are doing great and fantastic, and 50% of us are horrible. Like
I don't know what the number is, but in the
I'm not
in
your
the lane of the
perspective,
video you just showed, horrible, horrific. Like that generation of our Black youth is in a horrific place.
But do you think that's rare? Is my question is, like, do you think that's just like a one-off, or does this shit
Oh
happen all
no,
the time?
I'm saying the
Is
culture in general over the years has been terrible.
Same question, Joe. I mean, I already know how you feel, but what's your thoughts on Black? I'm gonna show other videos to kind of
Make your
point other stuff
like,
out.
Yeah.
But
Well, I definitely like to say that Black people are not a monolith, right? We aren't all the same. There isn't just one way to be Black. There is Black culture. I'm not going to say that there isn't. There is something that we can all identify. We have this collective Blackness that I know we have, but we're not a monolith, right? I'll say that. Now, with that said, in regards to the video we saw, the clip in that context, I do believe that there is. I think that some of the worst parts of our culture they've been projected to the world, through movies, through our music that we put out ourselves. And I think that image has become mainstream. I think things like that are ghetto, things that are like low functioning, low vibrational have become mainstream. And some of the ugly aspects of our culture have become popularized in the media. And I think that because of that, I don't know. I feel like our global image, like I feel like one way about our culture, but when we think about like our global image and how other races and how other people view us, I don't think they think highly of us. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to think. You see what I'm saying? Like I feel like I have I love Blackness. I love Black folk. I love Black people. I love Black culture. But I definitely feel like the ugliest parts of our culture have been broadcast out into the world. And the world does not see us favorably. And I don't think our response should be, we don't care. We should care about how the world perceives us as a race. We should care. You know what I mean? So that's my short answer. But we can expand on that.
yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you, Joe. I mean, listen, for the most part, like my issue with the Black community, just in general, particularly right now, I didn't feel this way when I was a kid and growing up, but particularly right now, is that like the most ridiculous parts are glorified.
Right.
Like it's just like, and it's not just by like hood, Section 8, bottom of the bottom people. It's just kind of like a collective where it's just like put it this way: the people who go to school and become successful and get $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year jobs, we're looked at as corny. Like we're not like we're looked at as like, oh, you kind of corny, like you're not one of us. Like you gotta be on some, you gotta be on some, like you gotta be on some fuck shit in order to be like, oh, okay, like you one of us now. Like I go to cookouts, I'm with cousins and stuff like that. I can't even have regular conversations with them because they look at me like, oh, you one of them white people, bro. You not like, it's like I'm not a part of this group because they're like, oh, well, we kind of work when we feel like it. We sleep till fucking noon we sleep till noon every day. I mean, like we sell a little bit of drugs here and there, and it's like that's looked at as like acceptable. Like that's like I'm looked at as corny, but they're looked at as like, oh, this is what I mean, it is what it is. You just gotta do. Like a person like that archetype is more accepted than going to school and paying your fucking bills and having to, because people like us, we're considered white in our own cultures. They're like, oh, how many times have you heard, oh, y'all on some white people shit? Or have y'all never heard that?
I've heard it.
Or I'm the only person that ever heard this before.
No. I've heard it, but I guess I don't subscribe to making those people exist. Everybody has that group of cousins who said that. I've been accused of talking white. I went to Catholic school, so my dialect or my way of speaking is considered being white, yes. But just like the conversation we had about exposing yourself to different things, I'm not going to not acknowledge that there are Black people who don't think that we are corny. There are Black people who celebrate this. There is a culture in which great things are happening and they're not publicized not because we don't want them to be, but because the world wants Black people to be seen in that light.
I don't subscribe to that. Like, because we can publicize it ourselves. Like, people post videos of themselves.
I hear what you're saying. But at the end of the day,
all of us are our
Fox
own media outlet
put
now.
on what Fox wants to put on, and people who have the means to publicize and give cultures a name, the powers that be, I guess.
Okay, but we're talking on both sides of our mouth in any situations, because in one mouth on one side we say, well, traditional media isn't what it used to be. Then we say when we want traditional media to be the bad guy, we make it seem like, oh, they run the narrative. Because the whole reason Kamala lost the election,
the other side of that is.
Well, the whole reason Kamala lost the election was because she had traditional media on her side, minus Fox, but she didn't have the individual outlets that when people push that, and those people, the smaller, the Joe Rogans and stuff like that, they are more responsible for spreading culture now over Fox, CNN, or MSNBC. Or things go viral. Like this video just went viral. So this crazy stuff happened and it goes viral. And this person, it was just a ring camera. There wasn't a reporter from CNN that was looking to destroy Black people.
Right. Well, yeah. And that's because things like social media and what makes things viral, those people aren't the same people that are constructing the narrative of what globally on a global stance of what gets perceived as how Black people are. Like,
I think it's easy. It's easy to point to some external thing. If we didn't do the stuff and you put a switch in the thing, it wouldn't be what it is.
I hear you. I hear you. What I'm saying is there are white people doing just as extreme.
And sometimes they go viral too.
We don't see it because it's not.
No, you see TikTok. You see everything. Like you see white people stealing. I see white people stealing all the time on body cam on TikTok.
It wasn't on the MSNBC.
I mean, I don't watch the news like that. So,
but you just pulled up a clip on MSNBC. They're not reporting that though. Do you at least see what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
MSNBC
I don't believe
didn't report it.
I'm not a big believer in big companies telling you what to believe. I'm not a big believer. I never have been.
Not telling you what to believe. So. I believe it happened. Like they really.
I believe in that.
Losing their shit.
Yeah, no, that does.
But we didn't see the young bulls in Conshohocken that had a shootout. We didn't see it. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. So now,
okay, so your argument is that the reason that we have this image is because the powers that be want us to have this image, not because we're doing anything particularly wrong.
The reason why I think it feeds. I'm not saying that the behavior is acceptable, that they should be doing it. Yes, if they didn't do it, it wouldn't be nothing to be publicized. Yes. But what I am also saying is that we're not alone. But it's not a global thing because.
Of course, white people shoot people. We're talking about our culture. I never said white people don't shoot people.
That's what I'm saying. But we're talking about our culture, but we also talked about the exposure to it. We're talking about global news. We're talking about the fact that was even on MSNBC or whatever news network that was on.
It was a local Philadelphia channel.
Right, but what I'm saying is they also cover stories in counties as well. They don't only cover. They're not talking about the fact that we just gave 1,000 books out to like free libraries in the neighborhood. They're not talking about us giving food to 150 families on a weekly basis right out of the front door of my school. They're not talking about the things that could potentially change the narrative of our culture. They're not talking about that stuff.
I believe we drive our own narrative. I don't believe that these big companies do it anymore. I don't believe that.
So why is that on the news and not the things that I just mentioned? And do you think,
maybe it is on. I see positive things on the news all the time. Maybe that just didn't go viral. I don't know. Okay.
Well,
yeah, I don't see it in that way. I don't believe in that.
I definitely understand what Andrew's saying. I do believe that the media does like to manufacture a certain narrative about our community at times. I do feel like the media is racially charged. I do feel like the media wants to create more polarization. I think that they're going to show some of the ugliest parts of our culture and broadcast that. I think that the media is very divisive. I do. There's a term called manufacturing consent. Corporate news does it all the time. They manufacture consent. They spill out lies. They put out the same toxic phrases and like they do all. The media does all types of stuff, right? So I'm with Angie in that I agree with that. But even though I agree with that, this clip that we're talking about, that shootout, that was absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely.
So like we can talk about the media creating these narratives, but then I'm like, all right, so like once I toss that to the side and agree, and I was like, now let's go back to that situation because that was ridiculous.
Absolutely.
That even if that went viral, that should have never happened in the first place. That is, and anytime most, I feel like a lot of mass shootings go viral though. Like that was a mass shooting. I feel like when white people go and shoot places up, they go on the media too. It might be reported a little differently, but they report on those mass shootings, right? The worst parts of our culture right now are being broadcasted. Like I need to emphasize that. Do you guys remember when we talked about you guys mentioned Kamala Harris earlier when she had that rally, and who did she bring out to the rally to go campaign for her? Remember that? Who did she bring out? She bring out, and you know why? And you know why she brought out Meg Thee Stallion?
Right.
Because that is what she thought of black women and black culture. That is how the world views our culture. Twerking, shaking ass.
That's not like
twerking, shaking ass, hypersexualized, sexually liberated, and empowered into all of that. And we had Meg Thee Stallion shaking her ass at Kamala Harris's rally. That's what happens when you let the media and you let the world dictate your narrative. And when you allow that to become mainstream, and remember, Meg is glorified. She's glorified. Like you can still go on any social media account and see all of our black women supporting every single thing she does. Does not matter what she does. She's glorified in our community. That is what we choose to put on a pedestal. That type of image. And that is what the world sees. And that is how the world perceives our culture. That is how they perceive our women. This is why Carnival Cruise Lines have banned hip hop and banned certain aspects because of all the BS that these hood rappers going on these cruise ships now and doing on there, the twerking, the debauchery, the fights. Like, listen, when we take the worst parts of our culture and we take it anywhere, it's never a good look. It's never a good look. And so many people want to be black, but they don't want to be black. If you know what I'm trying to say, they want to be black, but they don't want to be black. They want to adopt a lot of our practices. They think it's cool to be hood rats, to be drug dealers, to be scammers, to be, gangsters, to be all that stuff, trap boys. But they don't want to be black though. They want to be that white boy in the suburbs listening to the trap music, listening to Wu-Tang, but they don't want to be black. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think the problem now is just we are experiencing a cultural failure, and I think that we've removed shame. I think a big part of it is that we've removed shame. We're not allowed to shame our culture anymore. We can't criticize anybody. We can't criticize ourselves anymore. We can't take a look. You know what I mean? Like,
it's funny you brought that up. I want to bring that to the second clip, right?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because you brought up shame. It was a nice little segment.
We don't have shame. We don't have shame.
We all got shame, right? All right, let's check this out.
I know my pussy a trap. He can't get from that. He gon' gon' try to keep it in, but I don't play like that. Where the fuck is the money? I wanna fuck in the bank. He tryna trap a boss, bitch. He want a baby with dank. Nigga, fuck out of my face. You ain't no hitter, can't shoot in my club. All of your niggas be showing me love. I know I'm pretty, let's keep it a bud. Hit it tomorrow, hit it today. Nigga, you really gon' nut in my what? Nut on my face, maybe nut on my butt. Nigga been mad, he ain't hitting the mud. I'm in the club with no panties on. I wanna take your man home. I wanna hit it for weeks. Hit it today, better have a plan B. What a mistake to work a baby. I'm that bitch, don't play them games. Dick so good, but you better pull out. Put on the bed, nigga, nut in my mouth.
I'm so tired of taking these plan B's.
We get the point, Tyrese. We're there. We understand. Okay.
Nigga, please stop.
You can turn it off.
So is this
This is the shame you say we don't have. I'm ready to turn my camera off. I feel like that was me. Like, that's how embarrassed I am.
That's a real song?
Yeah, this is a real song. You can Google
That's
it right now.
that's not a skit?
No, it's a real song.
So they in front of Popeyes holding bottles of malt liquor or beer and talking about Plan Bs and
It was KFC. Don't disrespect Popeyes. But
oh yeah. Oh my bad. Yeah, KFC.
put some respect on his name. What?
So, like I said, we have removed shame. We've removed shame. It is okay to we've removed shame. I don't know what to tell y'all. Like people get mad. Yeah.
And I'm gonna agree with you when you say that, right? Because I've had a conversation with a coworker of mine, right? And she said the same thing. She said the same thing that I've heard growing up my whole life. Like I showed her the song. She like, guess what? Let me ask you, Joe. What do women typically say when other women engage in like very questionable behavior, but they're making a lot of money? So say like a chick doing porn or something like that, it'd be like, oh, this chick's disgusting. They have a phrase that they always say to kind of justify them making money, even though they're doing it by unscrupulous means. They say, well, at least they get into the bag. At least they're getting money. It's some kind of variation of, well, at least they're getting money. Am I tripping? I'm tripping.
Yes, you are.
So you never heard this phrase before. You never heard other women be like, oh well, if I'm like, oh, this chick is gross, like what the fuck? Well, at least she's getting money though.
No,
like, they say this shit all the fucking time.
She's doing porn, and it says at least she's getting money. I've never heard a woman say that. I've never heard a woman say that.
How about you? You never heard somebody say that about Sukiyana? People are like, oh, that bitch is gross, but whatever. People are like, oh well, she getting money though. You never heard nobody.
Is she though? Is she?
I never heard.
She look like she stink. Is she getting money though? Like I don't know, bro. I don't know. But I have heard that phrase. I have heard that used that as justification. Now I don't want to
it's not rare.
I don't want to
all.
be just like our women because we definitely have a cultural image that problem with our men as well, right? Like you said, we do reject the men who are a little more nerdy or who aren't as hood.
We're not making it about women. The first clip was about that was all dudes shooting up. That was there wasn't no women shooting up the block. That was dudes.
I know.
So it's not a sex thing.
Yeah, no, I want to sure we don't go down that hole of just like criticizing our women too harshly because like both sides, but women, our black men and our women, our image is struggling, right? Like our global image, I should say, is struggling. So, but I've heard getting to the bag. Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard it too. And then we've heard women also say, I can't date a guy who has a 9 to 5. I can't date a guy if he's not making that fast money, if he's not scamming, if he's not hustling. We've seen and heard women say this as well. So like, then what do our men do? They go out and do those things because that is what some women expect of them or what they want from them. And they do it. So and not all of us, but
you and I did a podcast weeks ago. It was before I left for the military, John. It was when the YN dude was like, all that's left is trapping, scamming, something studio and this and that. And it was like, so it lined up with the professions. A lot of women, well, the ways to get money. I won't call it profession. The jobs that are the things that a lot of women say that they want in men.
Yeah,
like he said this. The dude was saying this stuff. He was like a scammer, trapper. He said some other stuff. He said something about being a rapper. And he blamed us, like the generation above. So he was like he was like Generation Z or something like that. He was blaming the millennials. Right. And we were like, remember, you and I were laughing like, how's it our fault that you're doing this stuff?
Yeah, no, listen, Ty, and you can speak for your own experience. I'll speak for mine, and Angie, I will let you know. In my social circle is made of Black and Latino men mostly. who are excuse me, who are working hard, present in their families' lives, in their kids' lives. A lot of them are married. A lot of them are stand up, solid dudes, and that is who I choose to keep in my social circle. You know what I'm saying? So like I sometimes I feel so far removed from other people's experiences because I choose to surround myself with guys who are stand-up guys and taking care of business. And I choose to keep those men in my circle. And men who at least who want to do better. Men who have drive. Because I want my iron what is it? Iron sharpens iron. That's what the Bible says. I want to make sure that the people around me are improving and getting better because of me. And I want to learn something from them and I want to be better myself, right? That is how I surround that is how I make my social circle. So for all these people talking about all black men ain't doing nothing, they nothing but scammers. Like, listen, who do you surround yourself with? Are you chilling with the dudes who sit on the block all day from 9 to 5, just BSing at the corner at the poppy stop, at the poppy store, or like, I don't know. I just feel like some of it is like you have to start to create a distance between people who are on a different path because we're not all the same. I refuse to say that black people are a monolith. We're not. There's so many of us out here who are taking care of business, who are making
like,
money.
That comment to me has always been like, I don't even understand why people say it because no group is a monolith. So we all understand that.
I don't think people do though.
But like not all, we all know not all white people are a monolith. Not all Indian people are a monolith.
So,
not all Hispanic people are.
Yeah, but
I feel like that favor or that supports the big picture of what I was trying to say because we know that fact. But why is it that black culture, that part of black culture, is on the forefront when there
because
are
we
white
do that
doing?
Because our community pushes that and they embrace that. But I told you we embrace the ugly parts of our culture.
But
we do.
What you made me want to say is the reason. And I feel like the reason why you just act like when you just asked that question, Tyrese, about what people hear, and I'm like, no, I've never heard that. I genuinely have never heard a woman say, at least she's getting to that money. And maybe it's because the women that or maybe I'm just not exposed to enough TikTok videos and interviews and all of the things that you've seen that kind of broaden your, your arsenal of what people are saying. But the people that I hang around with and the women that I hang around with, they'll use it. At most, they'll say something like, oh, I'm in the wrong profession. Like, I'm about to go sell pictures of my feet or get an OnlyFans. They're never going to really do it. But it's like, that's how I'm going to get my money because that seems to be the thing to do. But never have I ever heard a woman that I know say, oh, she's selling her vagina, but at least she getting money, though. Huh?
I've heard women say that. I've heard women say that. I'm
not saying that it's a thing that's not being heard, but that's just like the men in your circle. None of them is like, no, I'm about to go flip this brick real quick because shit is getting tight. That's not what you're going to hear your friends say.
Yes, that's true.
But yes, there are men saying it.
I also acknowledge that I select my crew very carefully.
Yeah.
But it's if I could go to Germany, I can go to where I used to get my haircut, throw a rock, and hit 3 niggas that think like that. And that's just what it is.
Right. I'm not saying that they don't exist, but
no, it's not. It's more than that. They don't. The culture is embraced. Like that is glorified. That's considered cool. Like there are kids that watch that video of the dudes with the switch. Like blah, blah, blah. They're going to be like, "Wow, that's so crazy. That's cool." There are people that are going to be like, "That's cool." My issue with our culture is that is cool to some people.
That is cool.
There are no white people when they see.
And that's not cool.
Shooting up a school or something like that. Other white people be like, "Those people are crazy." That's my issue. Our people don't do that. Our people are like,
you don't think in our culture anywhere they're not going to see. There's no group of young black men or women who would see a video of another group of black people doing something, raising money to help do X, Y, and Z, and saying, "Oh, that's cool. I want to do that."
So when you say no person. That's a nonsensical argument because we already established that not everybody does everything. So when y'all try to make these these kind of like pigeonhole me into these like ridiculous comments, they never make any sense because no one does anything. So of course I'm a black person that'll be like, that's cool. I'm a black person and be like, that thing is ridiculous.
And so that makes it a part of the black culture. You're a part of it,
but what I'm saying is there's a minority of people and there's a majority. There's a general consensus of I can't. The argument that you guys make sometimes is that we can never have any conversation because we don't know every black person in the world, or we don't know every person in the world, so we can never have a conversation about everything. That doesn't make any sense. If you think about what you're saying, because if that's the case, I'm sure one person doesn't agree with. I'm sure one person thinks everybody should get the bubonic plague. Like now we can't have a conversation about bubonic plague because we shouldn't get because one person thinks so. Like it's like whenever you have conversations with people, it has to be like, hey, this is a general conversation. Of course,
Right.
there are going to be some people who be like, I would like most people are God fearing, but there are some people that are satanic. They believe in Satan. We can still be like, oh, most people believe in God or atheists or whatever. We can't be like, oh, we can't have this conversation because 6 dudes I know believe in the devil. Like that's you can never have a conversation that way. So when you say like, oh, you mean to tell me you can't see one person walking down, that's a crazy statement.
Right, and that makes perfect sense, I guess. So in
You
efforts
can't
to
speak in
change,
absolutes.
change the dialogue, I feel like it's fair to Anthony. I feel like it's fair to acknowledge them though, because imagine if everybody pivoted the conversation to talk about that minority of people, then that would change the dialogue. Like, where does it start? Is it like, oh, that's just a small part of people that do exist, so let's not talk about them? Let's talk about the majority, which is shooting up shit. Let's keep talking about it, keep pushing it.
Yeah, that's like, Angie, there's a reason why on the radio you're not going to hear. You might hear some Kendrick Lamar, right, and some J. Cole, but you're not going to hear the conscious artists on the radio. You're not going to hear them on rotation on these stations. You're going to hear all the hood stuff, all of the ghetto, ratchet, YOLO, all that. You're going to hear
so
that.
Where does it change? How do you change the narrative?
If they're buying the stuff, if that's what's
it sells.
Change the narrative.
If I'm a record executive, why would I put out Kendrick Lamar and Common if they're not going to sell as much as NBA YoungBoy? You're going to do what makes money, and if you could say like, "Oh, that's big records," but they're just doing what makes money. If we didn't support it, we couldn't do it.
Right. I know. I agree with you.
We support it, so it's like it's not some kind of like you're saying like the support is because people are behind the strings making black people do crazy stuff. No, we're buying it. Like when I was a kid and I bought Beanie Siegel album and he was Bang Bang Shoot 'Em Up, a record executive wasn't in my head. I was like, I'm a Beanie Siegel fan. I'm gonna go buy his goddamn album. I was like, oh, the powers that be gonna make Tyrese go to FYE and go buy Beanie Siegels. Like, no, I grabbed my little nuts. I was 13 years old. I got on a bus and went to FYE and I bought a CD. The powers that be didn't make me do shit. When people be like, oh, well, it's no, I don't believe in this shadowy figure that's making black people do stuff and then pushing this. Like, I don't believe in this thing. Like, I don't believe in the concept.
I mean, I do believe the music industry is very intentional in what they do, but that's another conversation,
but
right? I don't
want
to
money though, right? If the stuff, if the gangster stuff wasn't making money, they wouldn't push it. They would be like, oh, okay,
they make money off of music that is detrimental to our community.
But what I'm saying is, it's a financial decision. It's not, hey, I want to hurt black people. Now, it hurt black people in the process. I agree.
We don't know that.
But their goal is profit.
I know their goal is profit, but they exploit
above all else.
But they exploit the worst parts of our culture to make money off of us.
That I agree. But but it's a byproduct of it. They're like, hey, we're going to make money off these niggas. Now, if these niggas start killing themselves over the beefs, then that's not our problem. That's their problem. But their goal is money. If they weren't, if I didn't buy Beanie Siegel CD, he wouldn't have went gold back then and been whoever he was.
Right.
Like, we gotta because if it wasn't being supported, they would be like, "There's no money in this. We're not."
I agree that we supported. Do you remember when Cardi B tried to change her tone after she dropped the first album, and then she didn't sell records? Remember that one song, "Be Careful with Me"? I don't think it did well on the radio, and she basically said, "Okay, I tried something different." And y'all didn't respond to it. So I went back to the stripping. I went back to the, the club hits, she was like, I had to go back to the other style because when I try something different, y'all don't support it. So I went back to what made money. Cardi B said that herself. And I use her as an example because, she's one of those big ones for a while, but she said the same thing. Like, it just, certain types of music don't sell. So we do what sells and what's going to be a hit in the club. And that is what we support. So we support it. So
we can support Common. We could buy more of his shit.
There's a lot of good music out there, bro. We just support the nonsense.
Even me, I'll be listening. One of my favorite songs is "First Day Out" by T Grizzly. I'll be in that joint like, I'll be working out like, but it's just like, hey, listen, like, it is what it. But I just take issue with the idea of like a shadowy figure. Like, I know y'all two believe it, but I'm not big. Like, I think I make my own decisions when I was supporting that music back when and I still support it now. I'm not saying, I just think a lot of it is ass. They don't say shit. So that's why I don't really listen to it. I listen to like the same like 18 songs. I think it's just, I don't think they have any talent anymore, but that's just me as an old nigga talking shit. Like, I understand that. I'm not even of that ilk anymore. However, some of them dudes are super talented. Like when Jeezy was out, who didn't want to be the Snowman? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, would the record executives put the Snowman out and give them 3 volumes of the Snowman if people weren't buying the Snowman? No.
You're right. You're
If
right.
they were putting out King
they're
Cole
trying
and
to make
motherfuckers
money.
doing like, you mean like they bring out doo wop, doo wop, doo wop, and that shit was selling, they would put that shit out. But it's not selling.
right.
No one cares.
I agree with you.
But I don't think people are making them do that. I'm like, but anyway, I don't want to keep repeating myself. But yeah.
So open it up to the family. What do you guys think about, the state of the black culture? We have this conversation a lot, but like, what do you think about the culture? What do you think about that shooting that happened? Do you think are we in a state of crisis? Like, just any general ideas about what we talked about today. How do you feel about it? Open it up to the family, because we've talked about it for extensively. So let's see what the family community has to say about it.
All right. Well, listen, let us know what y'all think, family. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time.
Until next time.